He's got Armia with him. He shoots. He scores.
In front, Carson scores!
And strike three. Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Pucks and Pine Tar Podcast. I'm Blake Friars alongside my co-host Seth. Hagen. Seth, the NHL Playoffs are underway. We're recording this on Monday morning. What's the date today? May 17th. And the playoffs actually got underway on Saturday. So we're a couple days behind. A couple games have already been underway. Did you get a chance to watch that Tampa Bay, Florida game?
Yeah, I was at the driving range golf course. It was so beautiful during the great Minnesota Vegas game, but I got home in time to watch the Battle of the Everglades. That was an awesome series. It's crazy that a player can sit out for a whole year, come back and just throw in a couple goals like he never missed a beat. You obviously know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But
we don't. Don't even get me going on that shit, man. Because I just think that's ridiculous. How Tampa Bay, first of all, can go out and trade for Dennis Savard, who has a high cap hit, right? While hiding Stamkos and Kucherov on the LTIR. Stamkos, who makes $9.5 million, and Kucherov, who makes $9.5 million. That's like $19 million just sitting on your LTIR. Playoffs come around. Oh, no, these guys are good to go. No cap. These guys are back. They're healthy. They've been practicing. It's like it's a loophole that needs to be fixed in the next CBA because Toronto does it all the time too. And Freddie Anderson was on the LTIR. Oh, he's going to come off the last game of the year. Montreal. Price, Gallagher, LTIR. They didn't make a move at the deadline, but like they could have. But it's a loophole that needs to be fixed, man. But yeah,
here's the thing. But it's a loophole that every team in the NHL can and should be using. So it's not like it's benefiting Tampa more than it benefits, a team in Edmonton or something. It's a loophole that every GM knows about.
Thing,
every team owner knows about it. And if you could take advantage of the rules that within your system, then I'm all for it, man.
Here's my thing. Here's my view. If you're on LTIR, long-term injury reserve, that means you should be out for the season. The thing that bugs me the most about Kucherov is, so the Stanley Cup final ended in what? August last year?
Yeah, it was a little late.
Okay. Kucherov could have got his surgery at the end of August. Okay. He waited until December. 2 months before the season. He could have got his surgery 4 months before the season.
So
and he went back.
Only thing I'd say about that is we don't know like the specifics in his what if the doctor said we have to wait. We don't know the exact specifics, Blake. So like yes, you can speculate on it, but like every injury's different,
right.
Every rehab's different. It's all tailored to the individual player, depending on their age, their history with injuries, any of that stuff. So it looks shady to you, but we don't actually know the exact circumstances. Every injury is different. Every timeline's different. So I'm not going to go that far to say, oh, he should have had it right away. Because it could have been something in his life personally that he didn't want to until this time. So I'm not going to go that far, but I kind of get where you're going.
Well, I just got some breaking news
about
the Jake Virtanen stuff.
We want to wade into those waters? I don't know.
Woman files lawsuit alleging Canucks forward sexually assault her in 27. Oh, okay, so it's just more news.
It's just the official.
Nothing new. It's official now.
Virtanen's played his last game in a Canucks uniform.
You're most likely probably right. All right, let's go over some predictions here. Let's start in the North. Montreal versus Toronto. Who do you got?
So before we even, I mean, I got Toronto. I'm not going to bury the lead here, but why is the North not playing? Start playing. Just start.
Yeah, that's
Just
very.
start playing the games. No one cares. Just start playing.
Interesting. I'm not sure why they have to wait for Vancouver and Calgary to get done.
There's zero reason for them to wait.
It's
actually, is it an advantage or disadvantage? Because now we got to start talking about momentum and rest, because these teams in the North are going to be going through a weird time off, a week off, and then kick back up into, no joke, playoff hockey is different, man. Playoff hockey, you've already seen in game one.
Right.
One of the best teams in the league loses to the Capitals 3-2 because it's playoff hockey, bro. It's like this team, Toronto's going to sit around. Montreal's going to get healthy. They're going to get reloaded, and then they're going to have to go right into a buzzsaw of the playoffs. And then the team from Canada, whoever comes out, is then going to have to move across a country border to play in a non-home rink. Like the stacked up disadvantages for the teams in the North not playing because of a series out west that matters, for obviously seeding and for, there might be guys that have contract incentives for games played, for goals scored in the season. So there's a lot of reasons why they're playing those games, but there's no reason why Montreal should be sitting and Toronto should be sitting waiting.
Toronto-Montreal should have been yesterday. Game one should have been yesterday.
So just go. So I just got that out of the way, but I got Toronto. It's their first division title in 21 years. They had to change divisions to win a title, so good for them. They didn't have to play with the Bostons and the big boys anymore, so they got a title. Yay. I think that this probably they give up one game to Montreal, but then I think it's over after that.
You got Toronto in 5?
Yeah, I think they just give up one. I think they steal a game. Montreal steals a game. Toffoli scores 2, buries a late one, and they get one, but I don't think it goes much farther than that.
Listen, I will not set my pride aside. I will not pick Toronto to win a series. I will not do that.
Mr. Impartial over here.
No, I won't do it. What have they shown me the last 4 years that they're capable of winning a playoff series? Nothing.
So
they haven't done anything.
But you've said all year this season is a weird outlier. Doesn't count. Just a crazy season. So this is a season that Toronto might do something. It's not a normal season.
Price is back. Galler's back. Weber's about to be back. Hey, Carey Price is healthy, rested. Gallagher's back, healthy. Toffoli's going off this year. I'm taking Montreal in 7, dude. Like a lot of people called me crazy when I picked Montreal to beat Pittsburgh last year, including yourself. I'm pretty sure. And they beat him in 4 games. So like, I just think like Carey Price is still like he hasn't been the best as of late, but he's still capable of stealing games. Like he's still
he's gonna steal
capable of stealing games. So
he's gonna steal one.
No, Montreal is gonna win in 7. I think
the only if I'm picking Montreal, the only thing that I'm confident in is that we can score on our power play, because the penalty kill in Toronto needs some help and work.
Well, obviously, power play too. It's struggling. It's good, but it's struggling blightingly.
So if it comes down to special teams, maybe Montreal gets 2 games. But I still don't think 5-on-5 that they can do it. So
another thing, Seth, Jack Campbell has never started an NHL playoff game in his career. That's I'd be a little concerning if I was a Leaf fan.
So the only thing, once again, going against this being a weird season, is he's going to start a playoff game, and yes, they're way more intense, but guess what's not?
Yeah, there's no fans.
There's no fans, man. So
that is one big factor, because the Bell Center is rocking in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, rock. So I think yes, the intensity ramps up, bro. But if there's no one in the building getting on you, if you give up 2 quick ones, right, you can settle easier. You can regroup easier.
Right.
So he gets these games out of the way, and then if Toronto advances to a stadium where they can have fans down in the States, then he'll be more prepared, and the fans won't be, obviously, it won't even be home crowds. It'll be impartial crowds. It'll be guys like me and you who just are in the area and want to go watch playoff hockey.
Right.
If they end up playing a game, in Buffalo, if they go to Buffalo and Toronto wins, and then people in Buffalo are just going to go and watch the games. They're not going to go root against a certain team. So I think first start, yeah, you're right, but no fans, man. It's going to be a different wild thing. So I think Toronto gets it because it's a different crazy season.
Yeah, like I said, they gotta prove it to me. They haven't showed me anything in the playoffs in the last 4 years. They're capable of getting over that hump. So we'll see what happens. Winnipeg and Edmonton. I have Winnipeg in 6 games. I think I like Hellebuck over Mike Smith here.
Winnipeg been
I
struggling.
think Winnipeg is definitely ice cold going into the playoffs, but I think it's a team that's capable of flipping that switch. Scheifele, Wheeler, Connor, Ehlers just back healthy now. I like Hellebuck in net. Yeah, they got McDavid, Draisaitl over there, but you look down the line, they don't go as much depth as Winnipeg, and you're going to need that in the playoffs.
So I seem to be remembering and listening to a different podcast. You might be familiar with it. I think you're on it, where someone said, I think it was you, Mr. Mike Smith playing at a Vezina level.
Right.
Almost.
100% he is.
So is he playing better than Hellebuck?
This year he has. But,
Okay.
but
is that a factor in this?
Hold on.
Okay.
I think Hellebuck will play better than Mike Smith in this series.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a good pod because I'm going opposite of you. Exact. I'm going Edmonton in this.
Mm-hmm.
Not in 5 though. I think Edmonton gets it done in 6.
Turn your notifications off. You're a popular guy today.
Oh, geez. I didn't know you could hear that. I am. I'll put that away.
Popular guy.
Popular guy. So I got Edmonton in 6. I think the offense is too much. And I think Mike Smith, I'm going off my goalie savant reader here on this other podcast. I don't remember what his name is. I think it's Blake or Blake or something like that. I'm going with Mike Smith having a good year.
All right.
And I'm going with Connor McDavid being, the greatest hockey person on skates on the planet. I really am. Does Edmonton struggle a little bit? I mean, obviously, if we're going to look forward to my picks, if Toronto and Edmonton play each other, I mean, Toronto's got them 6-1, 6-1-2. So
right.
Toronto's got Edmonton's number. So next round, looking forward, yeah, there's problems with Edmonton, but I think they get past Winnipeg because Winnipeg's been slumping, man. They've been down. Hellebuck's not Hellebuck this year.
The good thing about that is for Winnipeg, you can just turn the page. See, regular season's over, turn the page. And yeah. I think Paul Maurice will have his guys ready. I think Paul Maurice is one of the best coaches in the AHL. He'll have his guys ready. I got Winnipeg in 6. Seth has Edmonton in 6. Let's go over to Colorado St. Louis. I don't think this series is gonna be close. I got Colorado in 5 games. I just think Colorado's got too much firepower for St. Louis. But we'll see. St. Louis could surprise some people, but I got Colorado in 5.
First time we do agree, Colorado. I don't know if it goes 5. I think it's going to go a tiny bit longer, 6, maybe 1 game longer, but that's not really a big deal. Colorado is looking like the Colorado we all expect them to.
Right.
St. Louis is this weird. It's just this weird team to me. Who's healthy, who's not, you never know. Mm-hmm. They went on that crazy run, so you can't count them out, like you said. But I think Colorado has got it dialed in this year. They got their formula to win down. They got one of the best players on the planet too. Obviously, he's not McDavid level, but I mean, how can you argue with those guys? McKinnon, Makar, all those guys are coming into their own. They've had their playoff experience of losing. Obviously, it was a losing experience, but you can learn more from a loss than a win. I think just in general in life. But
yeah.
So they've got that out of the way. There's obviously going to be different circumstances in America. Fans in the stands, people can go check them out, at least, whatever capacities, depending on the state you're in. So, I just was watching when I was, checking out that Vegas game with the Wild. It was fans everywhere and cheering.
Yeah,
and
I think there was 10,000 fans. 10,000 fans. It was man.
It felt like a nice warm sun, on your face when you step out in the morning on the beach. It felt so good.
Yeah. Game one, that series goes tonight, 8:00. my time, 7 o'clock your time. You got that under control now? We're 1 hour difference, not 2.
1 hour difference. Math, not a math podcast. You want math podcast? You go Google that.
Yeah, we had a disagreement last week on what time it was, and I was just, I'm over this. Like, we can't. This isn't a math pod, so.
Well, it depends on which province recognizes daylight savings, and apparently the province you're in doesn't.
Yeah, no.
Sometimes
Saskatchewan doesn't never changes time.
Yeah, so sometimes it's 2 hours, sometimes it's 1 hour. I don't know.
Right.
I think everyone should just get on the same damn page so we can keep it moving.
Vegas and Minnesota. Minnesota took game 1 in overtime yesterday. Wild game, a game that Marc-Andre Fleury stood on his head. Cam Talbot had a 42 save shutout. So it was kind of what Thatcher Demko did to Vegas last year in the playoffs. Kind of just stood on his head, and they couldn't get any offense going. And Cam Talbot seems to be picking up where he left off in last year's playoffs. He was good. He was good for Calgary. I got Vegas in 7 here. Minnesota was very good this year, but like
they had Vegas's number. Vegas only beat them once in regulation.
Number, but like Vegas, like when you think of playoff hockey, that just screams Vegas Golden Knights. Like that, like they're hard, fast, physical. Like they got Reeves running around, finishing effects every shift.
I'm not talking about Reeves. You said every shift. What do you play 3 or 4 shifts? The guy plays like 10 minutes a night. He's no effect on the game, in my opinion. But NBC loves him. Like last year,
I mean, he doesn't have enough. I mean, he'll have an effect if he runs the best player through the boards and hurts him.
Yeah, right? And then his effect will be after he runs him into the boards to get suspended.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Reeves is very irrelevant too. Like I'm on that train with you. But like you said, NBC loves him. There's always a camera on him. It's because he's talking all the time. That's why. It's because he's chirping all the time. But
I think it's a disservice to Vegas too, because there's so many better storylines and people to focus on in Vegas. Right. But Vegas is starting to get, and this is crazy to say of a team that's only been around for 4 or 5 years. Vegas lives in the playoffs. This is an amazing run by this squad, but Vegas now, can we bring it up? Like Vegas can't finish.
I know.
Is it time to bring it up? They've tried different goalies. They've got Leonard, Fleury. They've made good moves, good trades, but they're getting to the top of the hill and then they fall back down.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Is it just, I mean, it's hard to win a cup, man, but now can we it's time to start talking about if they got a playoff like bug on them that they got to get off their back.
Right.
I think it's a great matchup with Minnesota. I think it's probably secretly my favorite series besides the Battle of the Everglades down there in Florida. I think this is a great series, and that's something I thought I'd never say about Minnesota. Some of the most boring hockey that's been played in the last 10 years has been a Minnesota Wild game.
Who do you got in the series?
I'll take Minnesota in 7.
Really?
I'll take Minnesota in 7. Did Cam Talbot game 1 not show you something?
Yeah, it did. It showed me something, but what I looked at is I said, "Wow, Minnesota got outshot by almost 20."
Yeah, they were.
That's what stuck out to me. It's like
it was the second period. I think in the second period, at one point, they already had over 30 shots on goal, and they still
after the first period, the shots were like 19-6. I'm like, what is going on here? But to their credit, it was a goaltender's duel, and Cam Talbot stole them that hockey game. He did. He stole them that hockey game. He stole them game 1. So
which
Vegas
in the playoffs is that's how you win in 7. That's how you win in 7 because you stole one on the road, especially on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we both got that series going to 7. Let's go over to Pittsburgh and the Islanders. Ooh, okay. Islanders won game 1 yesterday in overtime. Call Palmieri, their deadline acquisition, 2 goals, including the overtime winner. I got Pittsburgh in 6 games here. I did these predictions before the playoffs started too, so I didn't make these picks after game 1 or like
Yeah, I
after the
saw
game
they
started.
were on Twitter for proof. If people don't believe you, I saw them.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh in 6 in this one. Who do you got?
Well, I had Pittsburgh. I didn't have the number of games picked yet, but I had Pittsburgh winning this series before it started. I think I said on the pod last week. But
Right.
knowing now that they've lost the game, I'll take them in 7 instead of 6. So I'll change the games. But as I mentioned last week, these teams, very, very long break between playing each other. They hadn't played since March 29th. So I think the first game, as you saw, went to the Islanders because it's just crazy that these teams they're not familiar with each other anymore. Islanders stole one. A lot of people, you go read online, they're picking, saying, oh, this happened to the Islanders last time or 2 seasons ago,
Right.
where they came and they surprise swept. Oh, they can do this to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is amazing at home, man.
Yeah.
They're amazing at home. So them losing one game at home, I think it's the only game that they're going to lose at home. I don't think they'll lose another home game. So that means they win in 7 because they're going to fix it at home, in my opinion.
Yeah. So we both got Pittsburgh in that series. Washington, Boston. I'm interested to see who you got in this series.
So I have Boston. I still have Boston, even though they've lost, thanks to scoring my first playoff goal ever, Nick Dowd.
Canucks
In overtime.
legend. Canucks
Yeah.
legend.
I guess. First playoff goal ever. It's the way. I guess that's the way you want to score it. I still think Boston settles in. I think it goes. They probably win the next 4 in a row. I think
Really?
Boston wins the next 4 in a row. I think they settle in and they
Boston
take it.
5?
I think they win the next 4 in a row, bro. I'm going to go crazy. One crazy prediction today. One crazy prediction.
All right. Well, I will be sure to tweet you if Washington wins tonight. Because I got Washington 7. I think the series is going to go distance. These 2 teams are just too. Washington's just too good for them to get rolled over. I mean, like
they're too good, but they also got too much stuff. They got too much stuff going on.
The only thing, if Craig Anderson starts the rest of the series, I don't know. But he did play well in that game 1. Obviously, they lost Vanacek to a pulled groin, so Anderson had to come in. I don't know. Samsonov is off the COVID list that I read, so he technically could start. I don't know what the deal is with that. Like,
Did Kuznetsov come back?
Him and Kuznetsov's still on the COVID list too.
Still on the list? Okay.
I don't know how that works. Like, if you can come off and play right away, I'm not sure how that works, but I think Samsonov is off the COVID list. So if he's ready to go, he's your game 2 starter.
I think, and I obviously don't know the rules, but if any of these guys that were on the COVID list, I think if they can come off, if they've got like at least 1 back shot, maybe. And these teams are in America. I don't know the percentage of vaccines on the players. Don't quote me on that rule, but you would think them being in the States being, over 50% double vaccinated with the entire population, that these guys would have got at least 1 jab in the arm.
Did you see what the CDC said? They said if they're fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I just got my first vaccination on Friday. So
I got 1 in too. I got it last week. A week and a half ago I got 1 in. So yeah, felt great.
No,
let's go.
It feels good. Yeah, I had a little bit of a dead arm the day after, but that's normal for getting any shot in your arm. But yeah, I think that fans are going to be, well, not fans. I think any hockey fans going to go get their vaccine if they want to, especially in Canada, if they want to go watch their team play. Because you saw what they said in BC. If the vaccines go up, they're going to have indoor activities again. Like, the Canucks had a tweet that said they're urging fans to go get vaccinated so they can get fans back in the stands. Like, that's probably what it's going to take. I mean, they're going to say, all right, if you're fully vaccinated, you can come to the game, right? I mean, it sucks. It sucks to pressure somebody into doing something like that, but I mean, that's what's going to have to take probably.
So just as an example, I mean, it's not going to be if you're not fully vaccinated, you can't go to a game. You look at what they're doing at Mariners games. They have 2 cordoned off sections. They have a socially distanced section where you can go to the game, sit in your 3 seats in a row, and then there's a gap, a break of like 8 seats. And then they have a vaccinated section,
Right.
where you buy your ticket based on your vaccine record. And in the vaccinated section, less social distance, more food options, more vendors. So you could still go to a game if you're not getting the vaccines
Right.
in like the Mariners, but you're going to be in a different section. So they could even cordon off differently for people, because there are some people that, immunocompromised.
I think the Islanders are actually thinking about doing that.
Yeah.
Half the building is fully vaccinated, half the building is socially distanced.
Yeah. So they're giving you the option. So they're not forcing you to get a vaccine to go to a hockey game. They're just making it a lot better if you are. Now, as far as the entire country of Canada, they want to open up and say, okay, 75% gets 1 dose of the vaccine. We can maybe do some more events, right?
Mm-hmm.
But getting double vaccinated is going to take a while in this
especially
country.
in this country. Oh,
in
yeah.
this country.
I mean, they told me 1 to 4 months.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a shortage in this country in vaccines. So
as far as next season goes, do I see fans in the stands at Canucks games, at Oilers games?
I hope so.
We can all, hope in one hand and do something else in the other hand and see which one gets filled first. I don't predict fans in the stands in Canada to start.
Listen, if like Brad said, if there's no fans in the stands, teams might move, and that like I legit thought I was like that is a legit possibility. Like they could a team could go down to the States and play their games for the year. It's like, man, like.
So the only thing with that, in the major leagues, there's one Canadian team. In the NBA, there's one Canadian team. Right. It's very easy to go find yourself a second home, right? A home down south, basically. There's a lot of more teams in the NHL that are going to have to find 7 hockey rinks or 6, can 2 teams move and share 1 rink, or something like that.
Can you go 2 years without no fans though?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think you can live on merchandise sales alone.
No.
So but the only hard part is finding that many rinks with teams that already share rinks with basketball squads or other, whatever they could share a rink with. It's not as easy to find that many rinks. So does that mean they go to college rinks then? Well, colleges play only weekend games. So that would mean that the teams can schedule more weekday games if they play in a college rink. That, there's so many other options, but
why not like Winnipeg go down to like Grand Forks or something? Like go to the Ralph.
So 100% agree with that, and the Ralph could handle that.
The Ralph could probably have 2 teams.
Yeah, because
go down to the Ralph.
Because there are 2 rinks. There's practice rink in the Ralph, Olympic size, and there's obviously the main rink. Yeah. In the Ralph, and there's full weight equipment, full training facilities.
It's like an NHL rink, man. Like couple teams could go down there, stay in Grand Forks. It's probably not ideal for an NHL player to go down and hang out in Grand Forks all year, but I mean,
that's what it takes to have
12,000 in the stands, and that's what it takes.
No offense. Is it any better than
Winnipeg?
Winnipeg?
Probably not.
Probably no offense. Not. You tell the guys from Edmonton that, hey, we're gonna play our games down in Arizona. Oh shoot, I can go golfing on my off days every day. Oh, I mean, no offense to these towns. They're great towns. They're great people from these towns. But what would make more sense for Grand Forks would be if Ottawa wouldn't play in Grand Forks, because half the damn team in Ottawa is a former UND hockey player with Pinto and Sanderson and all those guys. So they would feel right at home down there in Grand Forks. So maybe we could send Winnipeg somewhere else.
Carolina and Nashville. I got Carolina in 5 games. I think that Carolina is gonna come out jumping tonight. Game 1 is tonight at 6:00.
They announced their starting goalie yet, Carolina? Do you know?
Let me look right now.
I know we talked about it last week. We weren't sure who was going to be a net for Carolina, but I got Carolina in one more game than you do. Carolina 6-2 against Nashville this year. Nashville's a team we obviously wrote off huge, and then they went on a little bit of a tear, and they earned their way into this playoffs. So
Alex
still got
is expected to start.
Okay. So you're the goalie guy. What are your thoughts on him getting the start?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, he has been good. He's 15-5-3, with a 1.90 goals against, a 9.32 save percentage. So it's not like he's.
And those numbers are great. And who are they against? Or did he win 9 games against Detroit? Like, you got to ask questions. Or 9 games against the worst team in their division. Like, you got to ask more. Not that those numbers aren't great, and I'm not ripping on him, but like in a season like this, when you get 9 games against a team that's kind of.
He played against Nashville. I'll tell you who he's won against: Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Florida, Tampa Bay, Nashville, Florida. That's just his last 10 starts.
So I'm not trying to rip on the guy. I'm just trying to put it in context. His numbers,
Hold on there.
But I got Carolina at 6. I think Carolina. I got him winning even the next round. I think Carolina's a juggernaut this year. I love what Brendan Moore's been doing. I love the way he handles his team. I love the way they play.
All right, okay. I got his full wins here. Okay, so he's got 15 wins. He's won against Dallas, Tampa Bay, Florida, Tampa Bay, Florida, Detroit, Nashville, Detroit, Columbus, Florida, Nashville, Tampa Bay, Florida, Dallas, Columbus, Chicago. So he has some Detroit, some Chicago's in there, but he's beat Florida, Tampa, beat some good teams.
So he beat Tampa without their guns, though. He beat, Tampa's a different team, as we saw yesterday.
Yeah, they're a different animal.
They're a different animal. I love Carolina, though. As I was mentioning before, I like the way Brendan Moore has them playing. Even if they start another goalie in net, I mean, they've kind of been winning despite who's in net. They play tough. They score.
They're well coached too by Brendan Moore.
Oh, big time.
Tampa Bay, Florida. I originally had Florida in this series, but I was like, Kucherov's come back, Stamkos come back. There's no way Tampa's losing the series.
And you picked them before what happened yesterday, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got Tampa Bay in 7 games.
So I got the series going 7. I think Tampa Bay in 7 too. I agree with you 100%.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be back and forth, and if this series does go 7, I'm gonna be pissed because last night showed me that this series is grab your popcorn. It's go time.
Oh, every scrum in front of the net was a battle. Every after the whistle was something, dude. It was great to see. And Kucherov was right in it. Like his second shift, he was already in someone's grill after the whistle, shoving him up.
It's like he's been healthy for 4 months.
They're saying he's got fresh legs, but he's got fresh fists too, right? Knuckles aren't hurting anywhere.
We won't go through our whole predictions. We're just gonna go through the first round, and then we'll do our second round predictions when it happens. But who do you got for your final 4? If you had to pick your final 4.
So I'll start coming out of the North. I think it'll go Toronto, Edmonton, and I think Toronto wins that one. I hope that series is awesome. I mean, Austin Matthews, 41 goals, 25 assists, 66 points in the year. Any other year besides Connor McDavid, Matthews would be the talk of the entire league. I think Toronto comes out of the North. I think it comes out at 7. Unless Mike Smith stands in his head and Toronto just can't put anything past him. I think Toronto comes out of the North. So that's mine there. You obviously can never, ever bet against championship pedigree. Tampa Bay is going to do – they're going to do it.
Right.
They're going to come out if I got Tampa Bay. So they would end up playing Toronto, right? If that's how it would work. We don't know how that works.
No. I think it would be Does it get reseeded?
I don't know. There's crazy rules.
No, I think Toronto would cut like whoever comes out of the North would play whoever comes out of the Central.
So I only thought it would be set up on time zone. So if like let's say the Canucks did win the North and come out, they wouldn't throw the Canucks into an Eastern time zone market. And so I thought that had something to do with it. Now that
I don't know.
Now that the team comes out of
I do think
Canada,
they play the Central though. I think they play the Central.
you think they do no matter what? So that's not too big.
It was Vegas, Minnesota. They play whoever.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Okay. So then I got Colorado too. I think Colorado's a juggernaut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Colorado over Winnipeg in the conference final. And then in my other one, I have
so you think Winnipeg gets through Edmonton and gets through Toronto or Montreal, huh? Wow.
I do. Yeah.
Bold predictions.
Bold predictions. And then I have Tampa Bay over Pittsburgh.
Okay.
In the other. So who do you got in that? Like who would you have? You had Tampa Bay coming out. Like who do you have?
I really like Boston. I really do.
Huh.
Yeah.
So you have Tampa and Boston?
Yeah. So just another black and yellow team. Just a different crest on the front.
Okay. Who do you got in your cup final?
Yeah, making me go on the spot here, bro. I don't know. It's so cool this year that we can get cup finals that aren't traditional cup finals, right? Like
right. You can have two West, two East.
Yeah. Like you could technically have Boston versus Montreal for the cup.
Yeah.
You know, Montreal's down this year, but that's one of the best rivalries in the league. Obviously, I don't have Montreal going.
Right.
I think it'd be cool.
Imagine a Toronto Boston Cup final.
That's just where I was going. That's where I was going, Blake. That's where I was going. I was going Toronto Boston Cup final. Original 6, primetime East Coast huge Central games. Like, oh, that'd be great. And what's going to be so cool too is these teams. When's the last time Toronto and Boston played each other? Like
2018.
So long ago. You're going to get it's such a fresh looking like matchup. It's going to be teams that the film studies going to have to be off the charts because they're not going to know anything about anybody. Because no one in Toronto is wasting their time, doing film study on Boston or Tampa right now, right? Like,
right.
It's going to be awesome, I think.
My cup final, I got Colorado over Tampa Bay.
Okay.
So
you picked a winner too. I haven't picked a winner. I'll take Boston. I'll say Boston.
I got Colorado. Yeah, you better pick Boston so I don't clown you when Toronto loses in the first round.
Riding my Boston team's Red Sox, second best team in the league. Still.
Yeah, the Jays are on their assholes, so you better be careful.
Everyone's on everyone's ass in the majors.
Transitioning into baseball, so you got Boston over Toronto in the Cup. That's an interesting take by you.
Seth. And that's just me being purely like, okay, these two teams are really good, but I just want the nostalgia of that matchup in the Cup Finals, the two classic jerseys going against each other, right? If my hockey team's not in it, Chicago's out, then I'm rooting for the best, most classic NHL matchup.
Right. Okay, transitioning into baseball, we have to talk about Minnesota Twins because what is going on in Minnesota, the Twin Cities, is not good, man. 13-25, they are in dead last. Yes, the Detroit Tigers are ahead of the Minnesota Twins right now. They've lost 8 of their last 10. They have a -20 run differential. And it doesn't get easier. They got the White Sox coming into town for 3 games. So, I think that their season is already over. I mean, pennants can be won. They cannot be won in April, but they can be lost. And right now, I think the Minnesota Twins, by having a bad first month and a half, have cost them a chance at getting back in this race because they're 10.5 back of the White Sox right now. They play them this week. They could be 13.5 back after this series. Like I think it's a too deep of a hole.
So I think you're right. It's too deep of a hole. I'm never going to say Absolutely not, because you look at the league right now, and there's so many teams just kind of bunched in the middle. There's one or two that have separated, right? But there's worse teams in the division. They get to play the Tigers more. The Tigers aren't good at all. But Minnesota's
worse than them right now.
I know. 13-25. You turn on a game. I turn on a game just to kind of listen to Dick Bramer. It reminds me of being home in North Dakota. You get the Twins games. So I turn them on for nostalgia reasons, right? And you watch about a couple of innings, and you see an error here, or you see like a weird someone tweaked their hip in center field. Brian Buxton. You see just little stuff on this team just starts rolling downhill like what, man. And I don't think it's going to be – I'm not going to count them out, man, but I think it's not going back uphill all season. It's time to regroup this team. You saw what happened to their playoff just drought of not winning games. I think mentally –
they haven't won since 2001.
They're like 0-18, bro, in their last 18 games. It's sad. I think mentally they are checked out. I think it's affected them. I think it's time for 100% to change, whether you change at the end of the year or change the manager or something mid-season. I don't know what the problem is, but this is bad for a team that you and I had picked in our season previews as either first or second in AL Central.
I picked the White Sox to win. I picked Detroit or Minnesota to finish second, and
I think I had them
finish third.
I think I just had them flipped. I think I actually had Minnesota because when we picked it, I think Chicago was dealing with those injuries to Jimenez and stuff. So I think I moved Minnesota up.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, dude, you can't even this team doesn't pitch well. This team doesn't hit well anymore. They used to be the home run champions of the league, right? Oh, we rake, man. We'll hit it out of the field. They don't do anything anymore.
No. Donaldson hasn't really done much.
They're right in the middle of the pack in runs. They're in the middle of the pack in RBIs. They're in the middle of the pack 14th, 15th. I mean, their
pitching hasn't been very good either. So
yeah. They're 23rd in ERA.
Yeah.
So if you're middle of the pack in your offense and then you're lower end of the pack in pitching, that equates to 12, 13 wins a year. I don't have any clue what's going on.
Houston's won 6 in a row. Let's see if there's any other hot teams right now. Dodgers
turned it around finally after this. Get a little bit. Dodgers are an interesting team. They're tough to judge because of who they're playing recently.
They are banged up.
Yeah.
Seager is gone for a month. They just brought in Albert Pujols. I don't know what the hell he's going to do for them. He's not going to get much playing time because you got Muncy at first. I mean, there's no DH. I mean, he's going to be like a pinch hitter off the bench for a pitcher.
It was a very weird signing. I don't know if I agreed with it either.
Yeah, it's
I really don't know what they need.
He left the Angels because he didn't want to be a bench bat, but he goes to the Dodgers to be a bench bat. So that tells me he's chasing a ring. That's what it is. That's I don't know. Right now, if you ask me to pick who wins the World Series, I'm not picking the Dodgers. Yeah. So I mean, he's ring chasing, but I guess anytime you get out of the Angels organization, you're technically going to have a better chance to win a ring. But did you get a chance to watch that Angels Red Sox game yesterday afternoon?
I sure did. I always make sure I chuck the Red Sox game on. Red Sox in that series, by the way, just so you know, won that series. So cool that the Angels.
Hey, listen. The Angels lost that series, but everyone MLB Network's talking about Shohei Ohtani hitting go-ahead homer in the 9th inning, wrapped around Pesky's pole. What a crazy season this guy's having. He's showing 100 on the mound. I think he's second in the league in homers with 11 homers. We've never seen this before. It's sure Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth didn't throw 100 off the mound like that. This guy is so talented. he's doing something that we've never seen before. It's crazy.
You know, the only he doesn't win a lot of games. He doesn't get obviously the only run support he gets is kind of from him. So I mean, he doesn't. I think he one win on the year.
Yeah.
His starts. So like the pitching is something I focus.
The Angels have won 4 of his last 5 starts. He hasn't got the win.
Just hasn't got the official. Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Of one.
Maybe Ohtani needs to quit hitting his home runs late in games, and he needs to hit them earlier in games so he gets his wins, right? But I mean, he leads the team in ERA, which is great.
Yeah.
So you definitely love that. And he's so far. I know when at the start of the year, I said, "Can the guy finish a whole 162?"
Right.
Was the issue I had. And he had that first little run in at the plate where we thought, "Oh God, here we go. Here's his tweaked hip. Here's his tweaked whatever." Didn't miss time. The manager there, Madden, he is platooning and giving out his at bats and his pitch counts, and he's doing really good at managing him to keep him healthy. And if he can stay healthy all year, he might. I mean, he's the best player in the league. Yeah. If he can stay healthy all year, which is crazy to say on a team with Mike Trout, who everyone thinks is the second coming of Joe DiMaggio. Well, we have the second coming of Babe Ruth, and more evidence to the fact that it's true.
Right.
Right here.
I honestly think at the end of the day, the Angels are going to have 2 MVP candidates. Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout are going to be there in the MVP talk.
And they'll finish the season 4 games under 500.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. That's tough.
We talk about all the time, and so I don't want to make this like an we hate the Angels podcast. I watch the Angels games. Me living on the West Coast, as I always mention, I throw on Mariners and Angels games because they're always the ones that are on when I'm done working or done doing my stuff for the day.
Done golfing.
Speaking of golf, I guess Ontario today, they're getting so fed up and angry that they want these golf courses open right down now. I think they're going to do it. They're
getting forced to do it or what?
I think so. I really do, which good for them. Golf is outdoors and socially distanced all day, especially if your ball's in the woods half the time like mine. Ain't nobody even 6 feet close to me. Ain't nobody even 18 feet close to me. I'm next to a tree more than I'm next to a person.
What are you shooting nowadays?
So I got fitted when I moved here to Vancouver. I went and got fitted. I had some 10-year-old clubs that were like kind of janky, breaking down. So I was shooting mid 90s. These new clubs I'm flirting with the 80s now. Flirting with the 80s.
Well, the average golf's 100. Like that's the average golfer scores 100 on a round. But
yeah, I'll throw an 87 in there.
I probably shot like in the low 90s.
Yeah.
Like maybe high 80s, but like nothing.
Getting fitted for new clubs has changed my game. You know.
What kind of clubs do you have?
I got Callaway Mavericks. Shout out, full set. But like I got
no free ads. No free ads.
No free ads. Sorry.
I got Titleist AP2s. I got those a few years back. Those are pretty good clubs. I went to Golf Town and got those ones. So, yeah, that'll.
But back to the majors. We're entering that like swoon, where it's like May, June, like okay. Then the summer months hit, it gets real hot, and then we kick back up. But we're not gonna forget about the Major League Baseball, even though hockey's coming. Especially since for some reason, Canada has a week off to play their games, which doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, hey, the main event, Calgary, Vancouver, they got to get those games in before the real dance starts. So.
Last night was a barn burner. You and your other podcast hosts are watching these games, I presume.
Hell no, I didn't watch that game last night.
The talk here, Vancouver, the hockey market here is, if you guys get a chance, you just log on.
Vancouver needs to lose the next 3 games.
Yeah.
They need to lose.
The hockey market here has literally fired and rehired about 7 different GMs and head coaches in the last 2 weeks. I love Travis Green. I think you do too. I think the guy, for the ingredients he's been given,
Right.
for the circumstances that any Canadian coach is under, I think he's done more with less. I mean, that playoff run they went on last year, Demko got hot, but Travis Green made the call. He knew who to ride. Hope he didn't work out for him this year, but they got to sign Travis Green. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think Travis Green, listen, Jim Benning gave Travis Green a frozen steak and a plastic knife to cut the steak with what he gave to him as a roster.
Yep.
He signed Jake Virtanen over Tyler Toffoli. Huge mistake. What the fuck are we doing here?
Even now in hindsight, even now that money's going to be, what happens to that money?
I don't know. Does it get terminated? Do they buy him out? I don't know what's going to happen there. But there's just Jim Benning's done some good things in Vancouver. He has done some good things. He's drafted Pedersen. He's drafted Hughes. He's drafted Thatcher Demko. He's traded for JT Miller. Traded for Schmidt. He's done some good things.
That Schmidt one is not looking too good.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, he had a little bit of a down year, but I think he'll be better next year. But
I think, does he get protected, Schmidt?
Oh yeah. Yeah. 100%.
You think he gets protected?
100%. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He has done some good things, but he's done some awful things too. Signing Louis Eriksson 6x6 when the Sedins are out the door, just shit like that. It's what the hell are we doing here?
No, Louis Eriksson is
the Jay Beagle and Roussel signings. It's really 4 years for these bums. I don't know. Tyler Myers signing.
Vancouver is going to be. I think that the addition of Seattle is going to affect Vancouver obviously the most in the league.
Right.
With the proximity, and if Seattle comes out and if they kind of approach even half of what Vegas has done, this market.
It's not going to happen though. It's not going to happen.
I know. The odds are. Well, people said it would never happen with Vegas either. And
yeah, but teams said, okay, we'll give you Riley Smith and William Karlsson not to take this player. Teams ain't doing that this year. They learned their lesson. Teams are going to say, you can have this player, this player, this player. Pick one, and you're on your way. They're not going to be. Oh, we'll give you a first round pick not to take Brock Besser. They're not going to do that. But I think they can actually take advantage of the expansion and say, okay, we'll give you a second round pick and a couple prospects to take Louis Eriksson off our hands. Why not?
Do you think Louis Eriksson is going to play another NHL game? I don't think he's going to even play another NHL game.
But what I'm saying is he's only owed $3 million of real money. If Seattle wants to get to the cap, why not? Why not take some picks and some prospects to take on one last year of a bad deal? I don't know. That's that we could do a whole podcast.
We could do a whole pod. We had to get a couple Vancouver things in there just because we're not forgetting about these teams are still playing games that everyone thought are going to be god awful and they're pointless and they could just flip a coin for draft seed positioning. But I mean, the league and the integrity of the league, the TV deals, the incentives and players' contracts. I mean, there's so many reasons why they're playing these games. I don't want it to be they're just going to send out the AHL squad and bang a few, things against the wall and see what sticks. The games still matter, man. I mean, no player wants to lose.
Right.
You saw last night you didn't see last night, actually.
I saw the highlights. I didn't watch it.
I saw last night. That didn't look like a team that was just phoning it in, man.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the Brock Besser shot up late. That guy celebrated like you won the Stanley Cup.
These guys are professional athletes that are paid to be professionals. They are the most competitive people you ever meet in your entire life. You won't ever meet a more competitive person than a professional athlete. No athlete at the highest level of the game wants to lose a damn game. They want to win all. They want to go 82-0. No matter where the 82. I'll play in a rink in Red Deer, Alberta. I'll play wherever.
Right.
They want to win. They want to beat you. They want to score. So, and Besser's was one of those guys. Look at the season he's having.
Yeah, he's
compared to last year. Last year they were just going to ship him out of Vancouver. He can only score 15 goals.
that was a joke. He had what?
Joke.
7 goals, 15 goals last year.
Yeah. And look what he did this year. He's literally shoving it up their hoop this year.
Let me see.
So that's it. And he's going to go back home to Minnesota, and he's going to get better. He's going to train again. And then hopefully when he crosses the border again and does his 2-week quarantine next year, he'll be able to play and bring a whole full 82.
Brock Besser. What does he got here? Yeah, 22 goals, 23 assists, 45 points, 54 games.
That's a great season.
Pretty damn good.
It's a great season.
And his shooting percentage is up 3% from his career. Let's see where he was last year. Last year, his shooting percentage was 9.5. This year, shooting percentage 16.1. So
that's damn near double.
Major improvement from Brock Besser.
Damn near double.
And obviously, like, the Canucks had a lot of problems. Like this Canucks team was not very good this year. I'll admit that. But Elias Pettersson missed the last 35 games of the regular season. Like, a lot of shit went wrong. I mean, the whole team got COVID. Yeah, I don't know, but I think they'll be better next year. We'll have to see.
A lot of talk to you. So, give me your definitive answer. Are they going to have the Canadian division next year? Are they going to play in America next year, or what? What do you think?
I'm gonna say no. I'm
gonna say no Canadian division either. I'm not impressed with this year. The year started off with all these writers, Pierre LeBrun, and all these guys talking about, oh my God, it's Canadian division. It's wild. It's great. It's what Canadians all want. And then when you see the end result, you're like, well, that wasn't fun. I didn't like that. No matter what team you rooted for, right. You don't want to play the same damn teams 10 times a year. Like, it's boring, dude. 10 battles of Alberta, I'll take 3 instead of 10 all day.
Right.
Like, it didn't work out, in my opinion. The league can't do these divisions next year. They just can't. They gotta have these teams play everybody.
Right.
And it's gonna be so. It's gonna be so weird. If they do it next year, and Colorado gets to come up to Vancouver and play, and Vancouver gets to go out to out east. Like, it's gonna be weird to see these teams play each other. It's been so damn long.
Right.
They need to either be in America, or they can't do these divisions again. It just wasn't fun hockey.
I'm with you, 100%. I'm with you.
It just wasn't fun hockey for me, man.
No,
I didn't like it. So hopefully,
do it for episode 6. If you guys can rate, subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube. We greatly appreciate that. This will be out tomorrow. We're recording this on Monday, May 17th. So it'll be out Tuesday, May 18th tomorrow on YouTube and iTunes and Spotify. So you guys can check that out and let us know in the comments who you think is going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Appreciate you guys for listening, and take care.
Flyers, right?
Get out of here.